So while we were planning our trip and where we're going to stay using Harvest Host, we're also having to plan the route we're going to follow, and about how long it would take to get from point A to point B. Um, with my motorcycle, I often use Garmin Basecamp, and what I like about Garmin Basecamp is it allows me to identify different stopping points, and then I can drag the route to fill in where it is that where I want to go. So what we did is I created a new project, and I started planning a route with the Garmin Basecamp. And Garmin Basecamp, I don't think it's supported any longer, but it's still available and free. It allows you to plan the trip, and then you can download it to your Garmin GPS device. And I'll be using two GPS devices. I've got my Montana that I use on my motorcycle, and I've used on a lot of my motorcycle rides. And then I just bought a new Garmin. It's called the Garmin 66 GPS Map 66i. So what the GPS 66i is not only is it a map and GPS device, but it's also a satellite communicator. So what this allows is when there's no signal, this also allows me to send a text through the GPS network, through the satellite network, and communicate that way. One other thing that it has this big old SOS button on it in case something happens and I need to press the SOS button. So when I go on my adventures, I always travel with satellite communicating devices. I just got this Garmin. It's replacing my Spot 3 that I've had for 5 years now, that has accompanied me really all around the world. But now I'm going to be giving the Garmin and my new Garmin account a trial on this. So getting back to Basecamp, so what it allows me to do right in here, so for example, I can put in where I want to stop. So we knew that the first night we wanted to stop at Mammoth Lakes. Wanted to play the golf course in Mammoth. I've never done it. We've been there for skiing. I've been up there for camping and motorcycling. But I thought what we'd do is we would stop there at Mammoth Lakes. And then we just started going up and building the route. Mammoth Lakes, Virginia City, Nevada, Chiloquin, Oregon, Carlton, Oregon. Carlton is up near it's in the Willamette Valley. There are a lot of wineries around there. And then coming back down the different parts. So you just put them in there. And what you can do is you can say, okay, I'm going to leave, for example, leave home at 4 o'clock. I'll get to Mammoth Lakes by 9. Okay? So that's going to be late. We're going to leave earlier, of course. But then it allows you to say when you're going to depart, the time, and it'll tell you when you're going to get to your next stop. So it does that calculation based upon some of the information that you put in it. I've always found this to be, once you get to know it, it's really simple, but like every new tool, it can be complex. But it's a really good planning device for me. And then what you can see is here's the route. We're going to be going up the 395. Beautiful, beautiful road up 395 through California, a little bit of Nevada, and then up into Oregon, and then coming over, and then coming down the coast and doing what we can, maybe to stop a little bit here at what is it called? The Gold Coast? It's not the Gold Coast of California. Lost Coast. The Lost Coast of California. I did this with RV on the way back from Washington last year. Beautiful, beautiful secluded beaches. And then just come down, spend some time as we come back down into Napa Valley, Sonoma Valley, Santa Rosa, come down into Monterey, Carmel area, then almost finish wrapping up here at Paso Robles for the last sort of winery stop, and then back home. So full tour probably take us about 12 to 14 days. Already have golf planned, wineries planned, and we're going to do a couple nights in Napa Valley at a hotel. So again, trip planning with Garmin Basecamp allows me to transfer it to my Garmin devices and then use that to be the plan as we go on this adventure. Hi, so I'm back because as we're talking about GPS maps and how I use GPS to plan the trip, I also wanted to make sure that I let everybody know that when I go out and I travel for an adventure, regardless of where I'm going to go, I'll have my technology, I'll have my GPS devices, I'll have my phone, but I always make sure I also have paper maps. Because, I don't know, for some reason, one, you don't need a backup for that. There's, you don't need to worry about batteries. But I always feel better that in case anything else were to happen, I'd always be able to use the paper map in order to find the way. Now, what I do, so when I'm traveling into most of my motorcycle trips, I've got some very specific maps that I use. Some of them come from the government, but there's one set of maps that I use a lot. And they're called Butler motorcycle maps. Now, these maps, they say they're for motorcycles, but basically what they are is they are just freaking awesome detailed maps. For this trip, I'll be using the Southern California, Northern California, and Oregon. The maps themselves are made out of a waterproof, tear-resistant material. They're virtually indestructible. I've used them, up and down the coast of California, Washington, Oregon, all the way up to Western Canada, up into Alaska. And what I really like about them, I just sort of should zoom in on some of them. If you think about the map, they've got all these roads identified very specifically. So it's got all the general roads. There's a good topography on it, but it also has some color coding on these roads. Now these are roads that, for example, they're yellow, red, and orange. They're graded as to how great they are for motorcycle rides. Now, for motorcycle rides, basically it means it's going to be beautiful sightseeing, beautiful experience, probably some twisties, just some really great roads. So what I do with this is I've got this so I can identify, so for example on this coming trip, when we're up in Oregon, and I'm trying to decide, okay, so when we're going to be leaving Portland, do I take the 18 here, or do I see about actually taking out of Carlton these little twisty roads here? So what that allows me to do is say, you know what? This may take a little bit longer, and I can see using Basecamp how much longer it's going to take, but I can see these roads here, the color-coded, they have a lot more to see and it'll be a lot better experience for us. So that again, that's one of the things I just wanted to point out. Whenever you go off on an adventure, road trip, whether it be a motorcycle, car, RV, you name it, you have the technology, but always make sure you take a good set of paper maps that you can always refer to. And you can always pick these up. They're a real steal. And if you get good ones, they're virtually indestructible. So, take a look at Butler if they cover the areas that you're going to. I can't back them enough. It's a really great map. Okay, thanks. That's all I wanted to say about mapping. Okay, have a great day, and we'll see you later. Bye-bye.